that they were going to take things away, and we just didn't handle that well, and it just put us in a hole. Sometimes people say, well, your defense, it can put you in the hole. Well, tonight I think our offense put us in the hole. We just didn't do a good job of handling the pressure. And the thing about it is, again, we got to continue to build, but there was still even with that, it was our competitive spirit wasn't there tonight. You know what I mean? I just thought the second half was different because we played harder. But I would like to believe that my team is not front runners, so I don't want to get down 13 to 15, and then guys start playing hard. To me, that's losing basketball, and that's not what I'm trying to build here. And so for me, that was the biggest disappointment. It was a tale of two halves in terms of we played. Yes, we lost the game, but I was disappointed, collectively, and I'll take that hit. I just didn't have them prepared, I guess. I thought I did, but I didn't have them prepared. But I just didn't like the fact. I don't like when my teams don't compete. That bothers me. And I was bothered in the first half because when you don't compete consistently, it doesn't matter about a play. It doesn't matter about nothing. When they're just beating you to lose balls, when they're getting offensive rebounds, when they're being the aggressor, it just makes it hard out there on the floor.
It seemed like Bai was bothered a little bit by the size up front and was having trouble getting clean rebounds. And the physicalness maybe was a little different from some of the other games. Do you think that was an adjustment for him in the first half?
I don't really think that. I think that what he is. He's on the scouting report, and what happens is that those guys were told to keep a body on. You know what I'm saying? So that they did a good job, and you look down. I mean, he was still able to get nine rebounds, and I think that there's a continuous process of him growing as a player. Again, I always say this. Sometimes we anoint guys or we think guys are at that point where we got to remember he still has a long ways to go. He has to understand that there's more to being a go-to guy than even the rebounding and different things sometimes. He can be a decoy. He's growing. I thought he did a good job. I thought they just particularly, honestly, I just think they did a good job of keeping a body on him at all times. And, he has great hands, but when you can't get it with two and you only tapping it with one, those are things that happen.
Not to make excuses, but going to New York, going to Hawaii, coming here, missing on those free throws tonight, you think maybe the long road travel maybe wore down the guys at all?
I mean, and once you throw it up now, it's time. And, again, let's not sit up here, Florida State, they had a tough loss on Saturday. So I know the last couple of days for them haven't been easy. So they came in, they played hard, and whether they won or lost the game, they was going to make sure that they competed. And so for me, again, going back to what I said on the initial, you got to compete when you're playing against a team that presses and they're trapping and they're relentless. They coming in with waves of guys. They hit big shots when they needed to. Timely shots. That kept us at arm's length, and we could never truly get the game below 3 possessions. They always kept it 8 to 10, and they kind of had their way. We never really were able to get momentum going to get over the hump.
What happened on the play that Miles got injured on? I guess they got to pick the free throw shooter, or.
No, that's, Miles, once the trainer comes on the floor, then, you got to come out the game, and they got to pick the free throw shooter.
Yeah. Do you agree with that assessment that the competitive spirit wasn't there, and why do you think that was so?
First half, I feel like we were just kind of searching out there. Because I feel like we got a great group of guys, and we want to compete, but sometimes when the ball go up, it's just not there. And I feel like me personally, I could have been better with leadership as far as rallying the guys. Because like you said, we got a lot of inexperienced guys that are talented. Like we got a lot of freshmen playing, and I just feel like it's our job as older guys that have been in college to help them find their competitive nature, competitive spirit during the game.
We talked yesterday about their length. You expected that length. You felt like it bothered some of the young guys too?
Yeah, those teams, Florida State teams always deny the ball and always are big. So I feel like we just gotta watch film and just get a little bit better.
Wait, so you guys are struggling out of the box and not seeing those shots go down early. You think guys are tightening up maybe a little bit with it, or when you have a couple rim out like you guys did early in the game, it seemed like it kind of took the air out of you guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's just basketball. Sometimes they rim out. I mean, I feel like, yeah, we could have stayed aggressive. It was a lack of ball movement, and I feel like I said, me personally, I just feel like as being one of the older guys, I got to start opening my mouth more and helping guys, get back connected.
Is that what happened when you kind of led the comeback effort in that stretch there to get within striking distance a little bit? Was that sort of you just trying to take over as a leader and spark the team there?
I just feel like we just started to compete and play hard, like Coach said.
Anybody else?
Coach, you talked about effort, which, quite honestly, you mentioned the game with Florida State Saturday, and that was a game where probably Florida State came out and didn't give a lot of effort the first half and got down and gave a lot of effort the second half. What kind of steps do you take as a coach to move past that for the rest of this week and get prepared for the next game, whether it's 2 games in a row or 3 games in a row?
That's a good question, but I think effort and competing is two different things. I thought we played hard, but I didn't think we competed. So to me, what competing is that when somebody tap your chest, you tap theirs. Like, that's competing, And so when there's a loose ball, we both dive, not one person. And I think the effort, I don't never question our effort, but being competitive, means you don't allow offense to bleed into your defense. And so what happened is that when we didn't make some shots early, and they made shots, I tell our guys all the time, the game's not away. Like, you looking at a 3-4 possession game and there's 10 minutes to go or whatnot. It was like 17, 18 to 7. Like, it wasn't like the game was lost, but you can't get it back if you don't compete, because you got to fight. You got to turn the game around. That's competing. I don't think that's quite effort. So the one thing I will say about these guys, they play hard, but sometimes we gotta not only play hard, we gotta complete, and we gotta know what the assignment is. So now it gets back to playing hard, competing, and then knowing the assignment, which is, we can't allow, Green to get open shots, or whatever that looks like. We can't give angles on guys that are great drivers for them because they might not be, effective three-point shooters. We can't close out with low hands when we talked about not closing out, with low hands, contesting shots. A lot of those shots early on, they weren't even contested. So to me, like, that's competing. I think we gave effort. We were there, but we didn't compete. But as we move forward, I'm a little different. I have an NBA mentality, so it's like at midnight, this is over with. You just kind of get ready for the next game. You don't allow it to bleed into it, because we have a totally different team we're playing, that plays a completely different style than what we've seen this evening. So, you just kind of turn the page and you just move on.
Anybody else?
Any rust? I mean, you guys had, 8, 9 days off? Like, you think Florida State did get a warm-up even though they lost. Do you think maybe there's a little rust from not having played for a week now?
Yeah, if it was, no built-in excuse over here. What I mean, we lost to Florida State. You got to give them credit again. They accepted the challenge. I know they got challenged the last couple of days. They took a tough loss again on Saturday, and I knew the game was going to be tough. Again, I just would say this: I didn't think that we were going to come out and start the game the way we did. In terms of, like, forget making shots. Like I say, making and missing shots don't bother me. It's just the competing part of it, and it's just the organizational part of it. When you've been working on things and then you go out there and then it's like you don't see it, So that's what I was a little disappointed at. And like I said, I'll take it. I'll take that hit, and we'll come back and we'll get ready for Saturday, BC.
Very good. Thanks, Coach.
All right.
Thanks, Wade.
Thanks, Will.
Thank you.